As we saw earlier, the title of this course is Oorja Eye Opener Program. So it has something to do with opening your concept of I, the self. So, who are you? We saw that we are like those pen drives, and so everything that we are seeing outside is something which is actually present in our own minds, and we have come here to do the correction work, which means we have come to delete that file and to replace it with something much better that we actually want. So, who are we when we are here on earth? We are the decision makers for the contents of the pen drive. I'll repeat this. We are the decision makers for the contents of the pen drive. So, what does that mean? It means that our primary purpose here on earth is to be able to treat everything that we see outside, especially all the things that we don't like or which cause suffering or pain or whatever to us. We are supposed to look at all those things as feedback of what is present in our own minds. It is appearing outside, but it is actually feedback. Whatever we are seeing outside is a feedback of what we are carrying in our minds. So, what is our role as decision makers of the pen drive? Now, this is the real healing and correction work. So, let's pay attention to this. Something happens outside. You have a partner, or you have a parent, or you have a child, or you have somebody else in your life. It could be in your workplace, it could be wherever you are at the moment. Somebody is causing you disturbance. Something is causing you an upset. Somebody is doing something which is making you suffer. Whoever it is. So now, how do we look at it? Generally, we look at it and we say, this person is doing this, that person is doing that. That is a state of complete ignorance, because you are not aware of some things. You are not aware of how life functions. You are not aware of how things actually happen. You are not even aware that you are seeing your own mind outside. And when you don't know that, how are you expected to do any correction work? And so life is an opportunity to see what it is in your own mind that you no longer want to carry, and you can delete it here. The earth plane allows us to delete some things permanently, to lighten the load, to let go of those burdens. And so people come into our lives to show us those very things that we had planned that we would come here and let go of. But we come here and we forget why we came here, who we are, why all this is happening. It's as if we are sleeping. We don't know. We are not aware of anything. So whenever you are faced with a person or a situation or an attitude or behavior, it could be failure, it could be a loss, it could be disease, it could be anything. What you are expected to do is, first of all, to give that other person a complete clean chit. You don't need to go and say that to the person. But you need to practice that in your own mind. Every time that person triggers you, you look at that person and you feel bad. Every time that happens, you are supposed to understand in your own mind that, okay, this person is only giving me an opportunity to heal that thought which is in my mind, that feeling which is in my mind, that thing that I have brought here for correction. So when we first develop this mindset, it is this mindset which is difficult to develop. Why? Because we are used to looking at things outside and treating them as different from us, separate from us. And so you will have to remember an analogy which might help. You know, we have a black spot here, I have a black spot here. So I look into the mirror and I can see that face reflected in the mirror, and I can see the black spot on that face. And now I take a rag and I try to wipe the face which is reflected in the mirror, and I'm hoping that my face will clean up. It will not happen. It's not going to happen. Similarly, anytime you feel that feeling of this person is doing this to me, it's okay. You will do that. You will do it hundreds of times in the beginning. Initially, you will not be able to get back to a place of self-control. Initially, you will keep, it is like a small child learning to walk. You will try to walk, you will fall. But you have to learn to pick yourself up and walk again. And you have to constantly keep reminding yourself every time someone triggers you from outside, okay, this is something in my own mind. I take 100% responsibility for this and I let that person go. Which means letting that person go means I'm not going to blame the person. Okay, you might have to tell the person, look, you're not doing this, look, you're not doing that. Those things you will do. You will automatically do. You will tell your children you're not studying, you will do all that. You'll tell your partner you're not taking responsibility. Why should I take? You'll do all that. And it's all right for you to do it. What is not all right is that you do only that and you don't do any self-work. You do that. You do that because that's the worldly way of dealing. But how does the correction happen? The correction happens when later on you come to a place of your own where you have a few minutes of aloneness and you tell yourself that other person is okay. Whoever that other person is, that person is okay. This is an aspect of my mind that I'm seeing outside. I take responsibility for creating this situation. I take 100% responsibility for having created this situation. This person would not be able to show me anything if I had not been carrying it in my mind. And so today, I forgive this other person and I let that other person go. I let that other person go and I take full responsibility for it. You'll have to do this several times in the beginning. Then you are acting as the decision maker for the pen drive. If you really want to be the decision maker for the pen drive, what is the decision that you have come to make? You have come to make this decision. Everything that is shown to you by all the mirrors whom you meet in this life, your job is to decide whether you want to keep that file or folder in your mind, which means you say, I'm not doing, you do all that and then you don't do any self-work. Now you're saying, I want to, you're telling the universe, I'm keeping this. I want this file and folder. If you really want to delete that file and folder, you do that in the beginning, that's okay. But gradually bring yourself to a place where you are able to spend more and more time in solitude and you're able to tell yourself, This person is okay, this person is fine, this is an aspect of my mind, and I'm willing to let go of it. When you do this and you do it consistently, now you're acting as the decision maker for the pen drive. You will always have a choice. Always. Every human being's behavior outside will keep you in a position of choice. You can reject it and you can say, I'm not going to do anything, and this is this person, and this is how this person is. It has nothing to do with me. That is the way people live their lives ordinarily. But when we are learning something, now we are learning to evolve to a higher level of the mind, and so we are learning to delete the unwanted files. Means we have to take responsibility, and each and every time you receive a trigger, you have to practice this thing. Initially, if you receive that trigger 24/7, you may be able to do it, maybe not even once. But bring yourself to that place where you are able to do it at least a few times. And for that, we will be learning the process, that 4-sentence Ho'oponopono process, which will help you to practice the chant and do it in better and better ways. So this is how we act as decision makers for the contents of the pen drive. And the more we delete, the more good flows into our life. I'll see you in the next video.